guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay guys, I'm back and it is Sunday, February 3rd, and it's 8:29 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to get into some Q-related news, but and there are also a couple Q posts that I need to go over from yesterday, I believe, but I'm going to do that in after we finish with this in a separate video because it'll be a very short video. There's only two. And I did also want to explain to you where I've been because my kitten, he's wearing me down, folks. He's wearing me down. Yes, has chewed through my computer cord for the third time. Yes, the third time. And I did not have a backup. I went everywhere. I mean everywhere looking for a backup. Finally found one in a pawn shop. And so I've got that here now. And I've also ordered a backup one from Amazon, and if things keep going the way they are, maybe I should just order two. Anyway, that'll be here Wednesday, so I'm going to really hope and keep this cord under lock and key and hope that the cat doesn't get to it. So anyway, that is where I've been. I've wanted to be here with you all. I've wanted to be posting. I really have, and I tried my darndest. I looked everywhere. Anyway, I've got my cord now, and I'm very happy. So let's get into the Q-related news. All right, now here is something from Twitter from A Time for You to Know, and it's interesting. Let's just put it that way, and I want to know what you guys think. Here it says, new POTUS tweet. Criminals of all dimensions, keep out. Who's he talking to? Extra N and all dimensions. Deleted, then retweeted 4 minutes later, removed the N. Who is N? NP? My speculation. Now, what's he talking about? Well, apparently Donald Trump tweeted this. Let me get down to it. With caravans marching through Mexico and toward our country, Republicans must be prepared to do whatever is necessary for strong border security. Dems do nothing. If there is no wall, there is no security. Human trafficking and criminals of all dimensions keep out. And you'll see here, there are two N's that he puts in dimensions. And that is kind of an odd thing to say, if you ask me. If there is no wall, there is no security. Okay, that's fine. But human trafficking, drugs, and criminals of all dimensions keep out. It's just a little bit of an odd sentence there. It's an odd sentence structure. It's just a very odd sentence to me. Then 4 minutes later, which usually means something, he retweeted the following. With caravans marching through Mexico and toward our country, Republicans must be prepared to do whatever is necessary for strong border security. Dems do nothing. If there is no wall, there is no security. Now, granted, the second one is much better written, but we know that he does things for a purpose and for a reason. Spelling matters, grammar matters. These are not errors that he makes. Now, occasionally he might make a typo, but it's very rare. Usually these mean something, so that is why people are looking at this with kind of a wary eye, trying to kind of figure out what's going on here. What does that extra N mean? Does it mean what we think it means? Nancy? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what it means. What do you guys think? I don't think that this is an error. I think that, he meant to say that, and he meant that extra N in there. Mistakes like that don't just go by. When you're at that level, you've got so many people checking up on you. There's just no way. I do believe that there was a message there. Now, whether it's a message to us, to Anons, to Patriots, or to a message to the deep state, I don't know. Maybe it's a message to both. I'm not exactly sure what it means. And it could mean there could be another post in the future that will make this makes sense because a lot of times future proves past. We know that. So I'm going to move on and not belabor that. But if you guys have any ideas or whatever, or if you think it's just being ridiculous and it means nothing, put it down in the comments below. All right, and then we're going to move on to this, which is very good news and should make us all feel a little bit better. Anyway, Pentagon sending 3,750 more troops to Mexico border. That's good news. Any troops that they can send to the border at this point is a good thing because we are literally being inundated. We're being invaded, literally. And there's more and more caravans forming. There's more and more people on their way. And apparently, from what I understand, this newest caravan is aiming for an area where there's no wall. So really, without the military there to stop them, what's going to stop them? I don't know. So this is good news. The Pentagon announced Sunday the deployment of another 3,750 active duty troops to the U.S. border with Mexico. Not a moment too soon. And this from John Trump fan. Lord, I love this because this is just a prayer that someone has written on Twitter and tweeted out, but I like this. I believe it's sincere, and I'm just going to read it. And I think that we should maybe, if you are a believer, pray along. We need to be praying for this president. If you are a believer, please pray for our president. I think that that's our duty as believers to pray for him and to pray that God gives him wisdom. But I liked this prayer. Lord, please help President Trump to prepare for his State of the Union address. Grant him wisdom, prudence, and discernment. Guide him and direct him. Give him words fitly spoken. May it be his best speech to date. Touch the hearts of the American people. In Jesus' name, amen. And I would add my amen to that as well. Now, let's move down to the next. And this from C. Michael. Have you ever noticed that all the people wanting socialism don't really contribute that much to society to begin with? Yes, actually, I have noticed that because, if you're doing well and you're making good money and you've got, you've got all your needs met and you're making a good income, then you're generally not for socialism because socialism will take what you have and give to someone else that isn't willing to work. And we know that that's how it works. We see that all the time. Our tax dollars are taken from us and, we pay our taxes and it goes to people that, if we had our druthers, we might want them to go out and get a job rather than just living on welfare or whatever. And I know there are people that need to be on it. I know there are people that are, disabled and can't work. I'm not talking about people like that at all. I'm talking about people that they want to look at what you have. If you're a millionaire, then somehow you're evil. You don't deserve that money. You didn't work for that money. That money belongs to all of us. That's their mindset. And you know why that's their mindset? Because they've never owned anything. That's why. It's not a big deal for them to take away what you have because you've worked, but they don't know the value of that. So if you've got $1 million and they have nothing, then you're evil. Anyway, that's how socialism is. And yes, actually, I have noticed that. Have you? Have you guys noticed that? Or am I being too hard? Have you noticed that the people that are touting socialism don't really have that much to contribute to society? I'm just saying. Occasional cortex comes to mind. And now they're wanting to, believe it or not, I know. And this from, what's his name? Moore? Is it not Roger Moore? He did Bowling for Columbine and he did some, I don't know. He's a big guy. And anyway, he's wanting to get the law changed so that the age that you can run for president is lowered so that occasional Cortex can run, because he believes that she is the top Democrat. She is the best hope for America. Oh, please, Lord, help us all. If she is the best hope for America, then quite frankly, we're screwed. But anyway, that's what he believes, and he wants the law changed so that she can run. Yeah, she's 29 years old, and I think she was a barmaid. I don't think she's had a job aside from that. And yeah, okay, yeah, but she's qualified to run the country, I'm sure. All right, so let's come down to this. And this from Mrs. Claus, and we all know the story behind that. I'm not going to get into that again. And she said something to think about. The same people who so proudly lectured us about children being separated from parents are now celebrating being able to kill children at 9 months in the womb. Yeah, think about that. And it's true. These are the same people that were screaming, oh, we're separating the children from their parents at the border. Oh, they're being ripped right out of their arms. Yeah, but they're the ones that are, celebrating and whatever, that you can now kill an infant a minute before it's born. Yeah, that's something to really celebrate. Okay, and let's take a look at this, shall we? Yes, actually, we shall. All right, now this is another piece of good news. We the people, your voice in the White House. Sign a petition. Call on Congress to investigate Senator Kamala Harris' alleged involvement in an extortion fraud and perjury scheme. Now, this was created on January 13th. I'm not sure why I'm just hearing about it now, but hey, better late than never. Senator Kamala Harris is involved in an extortion, perjury, and fraud scheme. The scheme was reported to the FBI, who informed the victim. They referred the matter to the Northern California U.S. Attorney's Office. The victim's complaint identified as a co-conspirator, Miles Frederick Ehrlich, who was employed by the Northern California U.S. Attorney's Office as an assistant U.S. attorney, apparently because of Ehrlich's relationships with persons employed there. The Northern California U.S. Attorney's Office failed to investigate the victim's complaint. Congress needs to investigate this matter, including Kamala Harris's involvement in the scheme. Now, I would agree with that. It needs 95,000 signatures by February. It's got, I'm not sure how many it's got. It should tell us somewhere, should it not? Oh, well, it's only got 4,944 signed. So, I don't know. I don't know how far this is going to get, but maybe if we make this popular, maybe it'll get around. I'm going to put this in the description, the video description. There'll be a link here. If you want to sign this petition, there'll be a link here for you to do so. Alrighty. And let's go back. No, really, let's. All right. And this from Ron Churchman, and he is responding to Daryl Ney, who said, school told to call kids purple penguins because boys and girls is not inclusive to transgender national review. To transgender, and that's from the nationalreview.com. So the teachers are told to call the kids purple penguins because boy and girl is not inclusive to those children that might be transgendered. And Ron Churchman replied and said, folks, this is what I mean when I say colleges are turning out stupid teachers. This is happening across America, and indeed it is. But you know what? You can't blame it all on the teachers because they do what they're told to do. What about the principals? What about the school administrators? It's not all stupid teachers. We can't just blame the teachers because you know what? If they're told to do that and they don't, they'll be fired. Now, personally, that's why I would not teach in a public school. I would teach at a university or a college, but not at and that's why. Nonsense like that. All right. Now, here's something that'll make you go, Totalitarianism. Buying a hammer now makes you a terrorist in the UK. Yep. If you need to hang a picture on the wall, you need a hammer, better watch it in the UK. You might get called a terrorist. If you need a hammer for any reason, the United Kingdom's counter-terrorism policing unit will consider you a potential terrorist. They're also asking that anyone who sees someone doing something suspicious, like purchasing a hammer, to report it to the enforcers. Buying a hammer is suspicious and is potentially an indicator of criminal activity, according to the tweet below, posted by the UK Counter-Terrorism Policing Office. Yeah, it could mean you're a terrorist, or it could mean that you've got some nails you want to hammer in a board, or you want to hang up something on your wall, or any number of things it could mean, besides you being a terrorist. Do terrorists really buy hammers? Who knows? Look again. Communities defeat terrorism. And there's a man with a black hat pulled down and a black jacket buying a hammer. That's right. A hammer. Right. Information from you, the public, has helped foil terror plots in the UK. Last year, 22% of information we received assisted live investigations. If you see something that doesn't look right, look again, act, and report it. Okay, the day that I report somebody for buying a hammer, really, is the day I just hang up my hat on the whole human race. Really. A hammer. Uh-huh. I owe 2 of them. I'm especially heinous terrorist. All right. It's hard to see in this Twitter photo, but the guy looking at the hammer also has a few knives in his shopping basket. Hammer and knives. I have knives too. What does that make me? I've got knives and a hammer. I think I have duct tape here too. Anyway, I'm a little scared now. I hope they don't come knocking on my door. It's hard to see in the Twitter photo, but the guy looking at the hammer also has a few knives in his shopping basket. That's apparently supposed to be context clue that he's maybe a very bad person, if not a terrorist. Uh-huh. The UK has a borderline comical campaign going on trying to convince young people not to carry knives around. According to... What are you going to eat? What are you going to cut your meat with? I'm just saying. The UK has a borderline... Okay, I already read that. Never mind. According to Reason, there's actually a very logical and likely explanation for needing some knives and a hammer. The guy might be a chef doing some work in his restaurant, but the point of this ad campaign is that they actually don't want you to think of the most likely explanation. They want you to be suspicious and live your life in fear of others' everyday activities, complete with the scary "life has no rewind" button motto. Reason further pointed out that the entire video is actually a lot more sinister, not because it's eerie at all, but it's a bit horrifying. What the UK counter-terrorism police demand you feel is suspicious behavior, like taking out the trash. Oh my gosh, I take out the trash too. What does that mean? I better look in my backyard to see if there's any bodies buried or something like that. Maybe I'm a terrorist and I don't even know I'm a terrorist. Do I seem okay to you? No, really, do I? I have 2 hammers, some duct tape. I have knives. I take out the trash. I don't know what that means. Anyway, in case you missed it this week, terrorism police launched the latest Action Counters Terrorism campaign across 120 cinemas. Watch the full video below and remember, if you see something suspicious, report it, like hammer buying. Oh my. Hammer buying. Well, there you go. Kind of scared me a little bit when I found out that I could be a terrorist, but I'm going to pick myself up now and go on. I hope you're all okay. I hope none of you own hammers. Do you? It'll be a little spooky if you do. All right, now let's go on. Tentatively, cautiously, let's go on. You don't want me to pull out my hammer. So, let's go on to this by Diane Boyd. And she asks, so which is the graver sin? The racial sin of wearing blackface or supporting infanticide by allowing an infant to die after birth? I say the latter, but America is judging at governor in Northam, the governor in Virginia, for the racial sin more. You know, nobody's talking about the whole fact that he said to let the child be born and then comfort it while the decision is made whether to kill it or not. Everybody's ignoring that and jumping on the whole blackface. Now, I agree, it is egregiously racist to wear blackface, and yes, absolutely not appropriate under any circumstances. However, when you put those two things side by side, why is nothing being said about the abortion? Of course, it's not abortion at that point. It's just right out and out murder because the child would have been born and you've already comforted it and then you've said, okay, I guess it can die now. But, you know, it's interesting because this whole blackface thing has gotten the whole abortion thing out of the news cycle. Is that what it was intended to do? Because I'm kind of leaning towards, yeah, but maybe that's just me. Don't know. But I think that they got that out of the news cycle. And I do think that they will call on him to resign. But it's a little hypocritical. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't resign. I'm not saying that at all. He should. But just saying it's a little hypocritical of the Democrats to call him out for things that they themselves are guilty of. All right. Now let's come down to this. Judicial Watch. Considering her record and a documented history of poor ethical and moral fitness, it's outrageous that Maxine Waters will be the chair of the House Financial Services Committee, which has jurisdiction over the country's banking, economy, housing, and insurance. Yes, that would be like me asking the kitten to watch my glass of milk, right? She's not fit. Maxine Waters unfit to chair House Financial Services Committee. I agree. But yet, she is. She's got a horrendous, in fact, I think she was voted twice the most corrupt politician in Washington. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being corrected. All right, now down to this. And this responding to Elizabeth Warren, who states, hypocritically so, these racist images are deeply disturbing. Hatred and discrimination have no place in our country and must not be tolerated, especially from our leaders, Republican or Democrat. Northam must resign. And TJL MAGA says, what's the difference between dressing up as a person of a different race and trying to pass yourself off as a person of a different race? Nothing. Let me see now. Is what she did any better? She claimed to be of Indian descent, so she would get first preference at jobs and so forth and a position at Harvard. And she claimed uphill and down she was Cherokee, and she's not. And she's calling Northam out? Don't think so. I don't think so. And you know what? You know how they keep talking about white privilege, right? White privilege, and you know how we should just be ashamed to be white, man. Well, you know, considering, why would Elizabeth Warren want to give up her white privilege to masquerade as a woman of color? I'm just wondering. I mean, since we have so much white privilege, why would she want to give that up? Things that make you go, Yeah. So I think she should keep her pie hole shut after claiming she is a Cherokee. I think she needs, and her relatives uh, helped round up the Indians in the Trail of Tears. And if you don't know what the Trail of Tears, there's a wonderful book called The Trail of Tears, and it will rip your heart out and hand it to you. But if you ever want to know what the Native Americans went through on that Trail of Tear, horrendous, horrendous. Anyway, let's move on. Look at this. No, really, look at it. Top annual deaths in the U.S. Now, I would not have believed this, but yet here it is. Accidents, 121,000 people die of accidents every year. Cancer, 580,000 people die of cancer every year. 600,000 people die of heart disease every year in the U.S. And 1.5 million, almost half of all the deaths in the U.S. are caused by abortion. Wow. I didn't realize. I really did not realize it was that many. All right. Now, this is interesting too, and we already know this. Those of us that are awake, we already know that there is a depopulation agenda. We've heard about Agenda 21. If you don't know about Agenda 21, please look it up because it's beyond the scope of this video to hit on that because it's very detailed. But we do know that there is depopulation happening. They are putting things in our food and everything else that mess with hormones. The men are becoming much more feminine because of all the things put in meat and all, the soy, all of that. It's really messing with our hormones, and everything is messing with fertility rates. And I believe that they are doing this on purpose. So this says depopulation is happening via abortion for both races, mostly blacks. White genocide is happening via population replacement, gender hacking, propaganda, chemicals. White men are becoming more estrogenized and infertile. We have the highest suicide rate. Now, as you know, there's been a war on men ongoing now for many, many years. And I was talking about this probably 15 years ago or more because I saw this, how literally systematic they were breaking down the what it means to be male, and literally attacking it. And it started, I noticed, with a lot of the sitcoms replacing strong male characters, like, say, Michael Landon in Little House on the Prairie. You don't have strong male figures like that anymore. You don't. You just don't have strong father figures in sitcoms. And I noticed that systematically, and then even with, Homer Simpson's and, the way that he is portrayed as kind of, stupid, not good for anything, made fun of by his family. And I noticed that a lot on a lot of cartoons, a lot of sitcoms. And so I'm noticing this more and more in magazines. You've got more and more male clothes coming out that look feminine. You've got a lot of male makeup products coming out now. You see men a lot in larger metropolitan areas, especially, getting their nails done and their feet done and so forth. There's nothing wrong with that per se. I'm just saying that men are becoming more feminized, and women are becoming more masculinized. And, I remember one time, and I had a nice dress on, and I don't wear a dress every day, but I do enjoy wearing a dress. I'm a woman, and I enjoy looking nice. I enjoy looking feminine. And I remember being out somewhere, and a man came up to me, an older man, and he said, I don't want to insult you, but it's just so nice to see a woman in a dress. You look really pretty. And he apologized, and he said, I'm not trying to be. And I said, no, I don't take offense at that at all. Thank you very, very much. But imagine that it's become so rare that somebody actually stops you and says, oh, it's so nice to see a woman in a dress. You look very pretty. And didn't mean anything by it, wasn't coming on to me. women are becoming masculine, males are becoming feminine, and we see this. But look at this, and we see it in magazines. Here, this says child-free life. I know it's cut off there. Is an open marriage a happier marriage? Want to fight climate change? Have fewer children. I mean, we're being bombarded by this, like in magazines, on television, in commercials. And if you pay attention to it, start paying attention to it. If you're thumbing through a magazine, pay attention to it and ask yourself, is this normal? Will you hate your husband after your kid is born? Why would you hate your husband after your kid is born? Like, just things like this. It's just putting this. Babies of color are now the majority, census says. Okay, well, so what? All right, and then down here, the same person says, notice anything missing from these parents' magazine covers? Yeah, I do, right away. There's no men. No men. Where's the man? It takes two to have a baby. Two. Mm-hmm. I mean, at least, if it, at least pose with the test tube. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you didn't make it yourself, right? I mean, pose with the turkey baster. I don't know. But, I mean, where are all the men? Why are there no men on these parents' magazines? Are men not parents? Apparently not. Don't know. Anyway, okay, that's enough for that. Now, let's look at this. No, really, let's. Okay, here's Donald Trump. Democrat Governor Ralph Northam of Virginia just stated, I believe that I'm not either of these the people in that photo. This was 24 hours after apologizing for appearing in the picture and after making the most horrible statement on super late-term abortion. Unforgivable. And of course, yes, first he said he apologized for being in the picture with the blackface, and then he said, oh, that's not me. Really? Okay. Oh, but he did admit that he had dressed up for blackface on another occasion, but that wasn't the occasion. Mm-hmm. Right. Alrighty. Yeah, we believe that. No, we don't. Okay. Now, the reason I clipped this out, because I know you're wondering, is not just because it's interesting, because it is, but because of this. Super. Why? That's an odd thing. Another odd thing to say. He says, this was 24 hours after apologizing for appearing in the picture and after making the most horrible statement on super late-term abortion. Unforgivable. So, I don't know. When is another time that super has been used? Well, it led me to think about Hillary Clinton using the word super predator. Remember when she used the word super predator? And she was talking about black youth. Super predator, bring them to heel. Define heel. Of a dog, follow closely behind its owner. Now, this is a Q post, but Q is referencing, and if I went to this YouTube video, we could see it, which I'm not going to, but Hillary Clinton in a speech, and this was quite a long time ago because she looks, a lot younger. She's saying, that these black young men are super predators and they need to bring them to heel. So I don't know, because we know that most of the aborted babies, the majority of the aborted babies are African American. And it goes right back to Margaret Sanger, who called them human weeds and wanted to exterminate them. Yeah, so I don't know. Is Trump drawing our attention to something here? Let me know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of this? Do you think he's drawing our attention to something here or not? Or do you think I'm just being whatever? All right, let's go on. Oh, yes, and then there's this. Look at this. No, look at this. Trump Foundation. Donations from Russia. 0. Clinton Foundation. Donations from Russia. 145 billion. That's right, billion. That's after a little transaction involving uranium. Yeah, it's worth a lot of money. Okay. And then this tweet didn't age well. I'm just saying it didn't age well. This from Ralph Northam. We deserve better than a president who won't condemn white supremacists. Yeah, that tweet didn't age so well, Ralph. No, it didn't age well at all. And then James Wood steps in and says, "Coon Man gives advice on race." Yeah, that's his nickname, Coon Man. Yeah, yeah, Coon Man gives advice on race. Yeah, all right. And I thought this was cute, a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but please stop killing undocumented infants who are trying to cross the border of the birth canal in hopes of a better life. Every undocumented infant deserves a chance at the American dream. And that by Matt Walsh. I'm not sure exactly who Matt Walsh is, but if he wrote that, it's pretty all right. And that is it for the Q-related news. Now, I did have a bunch of Q-related news. No, really, I did. I know, you're saying, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, I really did. What happened was, I came back here with my cord, and I was so excited, and I hit the delete button on my news, and I deleted it. So, yeah, I don't know what I had. I probably had a bunch of good stuff that's gone. Anyway, I'll try and make it up. But that's it for now. That is the Q-related news for tonight. I'm going to hit on those other couple Q posts in the next video, and that will be it for tonight. I will be back tomorrow, and you know why I'll be back? Because I'm going to take this cord, this computer cord, and I'm going to lock it up under lock and key, and, deadbolt it and put guard dogs around it, and maybe dig a moat and fill it with alligators. So, yes, I will be back, and I hope you guys have a great evening. I've missed you. I really have. Thank you so much, everyone, for your comments and your support and your prayers and everything. Your coffee, your Patreon contributions. I really appreciate it. Anyway, have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Good night.